Welcome back to Algebra 1. Today we're doing lesson 13.14, Rationalizing the Denominator. So this is going to build upon what we've been doing. So it's going to bring in the multiplying and dividing and some of the adding and subtracting that we've been doing, as well as reducing your radicand down to its lowest factor, or reducing common ones down to a common factor. So it's going to pull in all of that, as well as teach you how those ones that we deemed irrational, we're going to rationalize them and make them an actual number outside of the radicand sign. So our first one here is if we have 5.0 over the square root of 2.0. Now, what we need to do first is make one of these something that we can reduce down or rationalize. So we're going to multiply both sides by the square root of 2.0. Since we already have 2.0 down here, then that will help cancel it out and bring it out of its radicand form. And it just leaves this as 5 times the square root of 2.0. Now, when we plug 2.0 into our calculator with the radicand sign, the calculator will give us 1.4. So we're going to multiply that by 5 over 2.0. So when we multiply that, we end up with 7.2 over 2.0. And then when we divide this, we end up with 3.5 as our final number. So we fully got rid of the radicand completely, and we're able to just give a realistic number for our answer. Alright, let's do one that has exponents in it. So for our second example, we have 1 over the cubed root of a. So the easiest way to do it is, again, multiply both sides by the same factor. So we're going to multiply both sides by the cubed root of a squared in order to help get rid of that. Because this just means that it's the cubed root of a squared over top of the cubed root of a squared. Basically, they both end up working together. From there, we can then divide them into each other, and using the process we already know about division, it ends up being 1 over a times the cubed root of a squared. So like I said, this is drawing upon the previous lessons about division of radicands. If you don't remember those lessons or you're struggling with it, go back in your book or go back to the previous video and rewatch it, re-go over the material. Make sure that you really understand it so that you know what you're doing for this. Alright, let's go over question 8 from your classwork for the day. So question 8 is 1.0 over the square root of 125. So for this, something easy that we can multiply both numbers by in order to get something that we can help square root is we can multiply both of them by 5, as that will help us, because we can't square root 125. However, we can square root 625, and then 5 gives us something that we can work with, as well as that's something we can plug into our calculator and figure out. So when we plug 5 into our the square root of 5 into our calculator, we end up with 2.236, and then the square root of 625 is just 25. So then we can divide this into each other using basic algebraic problems and come up with 89 hundredths, which when rounded is about 0.1. So either answer here would be acceptable. It's wise to round it to the nearest tenth, however, either one will be acceptable. So that's basically what you're doing for math for the day. So you're just, for classwork, you're going to do 2 through 22 evens. For homework, you have 1 through 21 odds. So like I said, remember what we've gone over before. Break it down, go back to your basics. This is all drawing upon everything we've already done, and you've already done this, so you should be able to do this. Alright, but I will put the link to the playlist with all the other videos for you so that you can go back and review them if you need to. Until then, I'll see you next time.